Hey everybody, welcome back to Open Source Office. This is Tex, your open source program manager here at Intersect. Today we've got another interesting one for you. We've got another partnership spotlight with the Open Source Office, and I am joined by Heather Meeker with Chinstrap. Heather, how's it going?
Hello, I'm great. Happy to be
Wonderful.
here.
Would you give us a brief introduction for yourself?
Yeah, sure. So I am a lawyer and an investor, and I have been working in open source for longer than it's been cool. Really a very long time. As both a lawyer and an investor, I specialize in open source software. So I counsel on open source issues for clients, and I also do investments in commercial open source software companies. And coming out of the investment angle, I started Chinstrap Community with my partner Saber, and that's about information about commercial open source software.
That's awesome. I'll tell you, we've been learning quite a bit from yourself and Saber here as we've been partnered up here. Looks like actually, if we go back to our announcements, that was right around August the 8th of this year. So we're definitely happy to have you all in the fold. And for our audience, just to clarify where this fits, this is actually within our project support services, that function of the open source office here. For anyone who is kind of watching it, and our apologies because it may not be fully updated yet, we've always had a question mark around that legal side of things, but we're happy to bring Chinstrap in to answer those questions and to be able to help us provide those services here. Well, I think we're missing a key point here, Heather, and you kind of explained just briefly what Chinstrap is, but maybe let's talk a little bit more about what the Chinstrap community does, offers, provides, and maybe even some small highlights who's a part of it.
Yeah, that would be great. So Chinstrap Community is a resource center for people who are interested in commercial open source software. So and we call that COSS, C-O-S-S, by the way. And by that, we mean companies, private companies, for-profit companies that are started around an open source project. So for instance, almost all companies use open source software, but that doesn't make them COSS companies. They're COSS companies when the central reason for their business is an open source project. And we've all seen examples of that, like Red Hat and like Grafana, and there are tons of them these days. Now, as an investor, I've been involved for a while in spreading the word that COSS really is its own sector, and it's a hugely growing sector. So what Saber and I did was we started this resource center for people to learn about COSS businesses, because and we do outreach to founders and potential founders, to investors, and to university professionals, because these are people who want to know more about how COSS businesses work. There's a central question, which is, wait, how do you make money giving software away? And that might seem weird on its face, but it's actually quite possible to do it. You just have to understand the strategy of how to go about it. And that's what we're trying to help people understand. So we run workshops. They're all free of charge. We do fireside chats. We do news. We do commentary. And we are also building a database of COSS companies, like a directory, and we call that Cosmology. And that's in process, but it's in pretty good shape to start right now. We also have a chat bot called Cosmo, and Cosmo is our mascot, a little chinstrap penguin. And you can ask Cosmo questions about commercial open source too. So we've got a bunch of irons in the fire, all really focused on getting the word out about why this sector is so great for both founders and investors and people coming out of academia.
Wonderful. Well, I think we've got a lot of great ties here, and I'm excited to see what the future does hold for us. For those of us who have followed along, of course, we've brought forth the paid open source model, and we're getting an opportunity to kind of put that to practice as of right now. But there's I guess a few key words throughout that, right? So picking up a little bit on the last one, that whole academia with Cardano, of course, we're coming as a peer-reviewed blockchain that's really focused on that educational research backing. In the paid open source model, obviously we have different pieces of the open source strategy, or the product support services, I should say, which is open source strategy, licensing, business models, design, training, all of that startup type stuff that we're looking at. And then even carrying us along to that commercial adoption piece of it. And so I'm excited to see how we can really kind of pick up and hold the weight at the bottom end of the model here, if you will, to keep it running.
Yeah, and it's interesting. One thing that I think of when you say that is with a commercial open source model, there are a lot of moving parts. Like there are different software artifacts, different pieces of technology, services, human services, computer services, etc. And part of the art of getting the strategy right for a commercial open source business is to figure out how all those parts move together, which parts are open source and which are not open source. And when you add the blockchain elements into it, you just add more artifacts, right? So you need to understand like how it all coheres together. And that's really what the challenge is for most people who are looking at COSS businesses.
Wonderful. Now, when it comes to support or interacting with Chinstrap, we have just yourself and Saber, or what access do we have in terms of the community or others that work with you?
Well, Saber and I run Chinstrap Community at this point, but we have also a Discord server, and the people who have attended our workshops, we're trying to build a community here of people who can help each other. And I think the people who have taken our workshops have experienced that it's a very supportive environment and a lot of good ideas get traded. So Saber and I are available to help, but we also want to make sure that we're creating a community where everybody can help each other. We run on a shoestring, no surprise there, true to open source roots. But we want to make sure that everybody gets to help everybody do this, because the founders who are coming in and the investors who are coming in to learn about this, they have a lot in common about what they want to do. And it's great when they can share ideas.
Yes, it is. So I would say the key piece of the partnership, at least that the community is going to see here, again, it's going to come out of that project support services function, is going to be some open office hours.
That's right.
And targeting these key areas like we've talked about. So obviously legal as its own umbrella, but inside of that, licensing and compliance, also tagging on some of our, the target for business models and strategies when it comes to open source software, and then also startup readiness, because there's a lot of projects that are likely to come to us, right? And how do we get them from that next stage of, hey, here's this repository of code and what's next? So
yeah, we're going to be doing office hours where anybody in your community can schedule some time to talk to us. It's free of charge, of course. And it's fine to ask us anything you like. I mean, Saber and I are both very experienced business lawyers, so we can we can probably help point in the right direction for almost any kind of question about starting up a business. But we're particularly experienced in the strategy of licensing, right? But that doesn't mean that's all you can ask us about in the office hours. We're happy to just chat with people. By the way, one of the things that people might want to talk about is maybe they have an idea, but they don't know whether it's really a business or not, you know? And that's a very good question to ask, because people who are thinking about starting businesses based on a project they're working on, you know, they might not really have a good sense of what qualities does it have to have in order to be a viable business, either to run for yourself or a viable business that other people would invest in. So that's a lot of what we end up talking to people about. And sometimes founders decide, okay, this isn't a business, but sometimes they realize, oh, wow, this really could be a business. And that's a lot of the gist of what we would be, you know, talking to people about.
Wonderful. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to, you know, I can't say I would be a part of every single conversation that that takes place, but I'm excited to see the before and after, and of course, be a point of contact throughout the whole process here. Um, I, I don't know that we have any strict goals by the end of the year, but obviously we'd love to see a number of those office hours come together. We are into Q4 here, which is usually when things get a bit more exciting. So maybe we can see 5 or 10 of those come through. I know there's mention of workshops in here, and regardless of whether or not one happens this year or early next, what do those workshops or webinars look like?
Yes, so we do. We're on our. We're coming up on our second cohort for the Founders Workshop. That I think is going to be in early 2026. We have coming up right away our what we call COSS on Campus, which is our academic focused workshop. That's going to be very soon, I think in a couple of weeks. But right now we're staggering them among the founders, the investors, and the academics. We're coming up on cohort 2 for all of them at this point. So those are all upcoming. We'd love to see people sign up. Also, about the office hours, what I would say is don't be shy, you know, like sign up, you know, if you think you at all want to. And if we just end up talking about football, that's fine, you know, but we're happy to talk to you about any questions you have, and you shouldn't feel like, you know, you need to be really selective about our time. We're here to help, and we love to talk to entrepreneurs who are starting up things. That's what we love, and that's why we do it.
That's super awesome. And yeah, for the football reference, for anyone who's not understanding, I guess I would say is you can hide a lot under football. Game plan, defense strategies, attack strategies. There's quite a bit. So I like
Plus,
that.
You can get either Saba or me going pretty easily about football. So
very nice. Very nice. All right. Well, let's we'll wind this down here for now, but definitely we have the office hours available. Let's make sure that you do sign up. We're going to share some information here, obviously, about how to get connected with Chinstrap. There's obviously many ways to get connected with them through the open source office, so please don't hesitate to reach out. If you have any questions for Chinstrap, please don't hesitate to leave those in the comments. And before I get down, I guess the very end here, Heather, is there anything else that you would like to say for the community?
I would just say go and take a look at our website at chinstrap.community, and you'll find all sorts of stuff there. And you can take a look and see if it interests you. And we really welcome everybody's participation.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Heather, for your time, and we'll see you guys next time on another edition of Open Source Office.
Thank you so much, Tex. Bye-bye.